Pairing lanes beautifully spaced out as per normal. I'll get this one out early. I know there's not a huge amount of people here, and this isn't going to have the volume of people that were here last weekend, but we still have to be aware of the COVID situation here at Santa Pod Raceway. The pits have been laid out superbly. Even the teams that have like more family members or more members than the rule of 6, they've had to be separated and spread out around the pit area. So many thanks indeed to all of the teams for your cooperation with this one. It is extremely important for us here at Santa Pod Raceway. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that the situation is not exactly improving at the moment, far from it. So our team here at Santa Pod Raceway are still striving to give you a COVID secure location that we can come and drag race at, and they're doing an amazing job. So massive thanks to the security team, all of our marshals, everybody on site here. So once again, thank you very, very much indeed. For everybody on site, you know, the rule of 6 applies 24 hours a day. Social distancing applies 24 hours a day. We will be getting a visit at some stage today. We don't know when, but you know, we want to make sure that we're not doing it just for the authorities. We're doing it for you and for your safety, and obviously to comply with the law at the moment. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts here at the racetrack, but you're all here together. The campsite is spread out again. Finals, but having said that, it's still an important event for everybody here, and please continue to observe the social distancing. The groups of 6, don't sit on top of everybody else, spread yourselves out. It's not going to be an issue today, but still, if you're queuing up for anything, make sure that you leave plenty of space. I know they're saying about 1 metre, 1.5 metre, 2 metre, whatever it is. We got enough space to be about 10 metres apart today, but you know, if we work on that 2 metre rule, that would be brilliant. So it just gives us no margin of error as such. So thank you very, very much indeed. The best of luck to all of our racers this weekend. I know it's going to be a bit strange with minimal numbers coming down into the pairing lanes and you all spread out. I mean, I'm just looking down at Junior Dragster, and literally, unless they're in a family or you know they're in a bubble together, there's literally 1 or 2 members coming down with the cars, and that's basically it. So thank you very, very much indeed. The security team here have done a brilliant job, and I thank them, and I know they've sort of thanked me for all of the announcements and everything, but I have to do this. I don't take any joy from it, but it's, you know, what we have to do. So but once again, thanks very much indeed. Also got to say a massive thanks to the weatherman upstairs. Blessed once again with some excellent conditions, i.e. there's a beautiful blue sky out there, there's not a cloud in sight. It's a bit nippy compared to last weekend. We haven't got the tailwind that we had last weekend, a bit of a crosswind today. It will gust a little bit as well, but the main news is it's not raining, it's not a headwind, and we should have a fantastic day of qualifying today. 4 rounds of qualifying scheduled. It's going to be a bit nervous for some of the races because we do have a championship this year to go for. If you'd have said to me, oh, Green Light Nationals, not the European Finals, and now of course our National Finals. So it's a 3-round championship. It's all on the table this weekend. It's going to be very interesting indeed. We've got some carryover finals to get done from the Green Light Nationals. They'll be taking place at the end of the day. I believe we've got 3 finals to run, which is ET Bike, Street Eliminator and Nostalgia Superstock. So those are the 3 carryover finals that we'll be doing this evening. Unfortunately this year, the National Finals has always traditionally been our charity fundraiser, but obviously due to restrictions we won't be able to do that, so we'll double our efforts next year and just have an even bigger one. So that's something to look forward to next year. But yeah, this is the last race meeting. It's going to be a brilliant day. I hope you all enjoy it. There's a lot of people going to be tuning into the live stream as well, so checking us out, how we're getting on and everything, and I'll do the best to update you as much as I can from here. It's not going to be personal best central that it was last weekend. That was absolutely staggering, the amount of people that went into new territories with their race cars, and that it was just every single run was like, wow, it was fantastic last weekend. Congratulations to absolutely everybody that set new PBs. We'll come on to PBs a little bit later on for obvious reasons, but I'm going to try and keep my button, keep my mouth button for the time being. But yeah, I had a pretty good day yesterday. Have a great day, folks. As I say, we're not far away from getting going. We've got Junior Dragster in the lanes, we've got Pro ET in the lanes. So can I call another class down, please? And that, of course, is another small F, Super Pro ET into the pairing lanes, please. So Super Pro ET, can we have you into the pairing lanes? And we'll be back with you when we start qualifying here at the STP National Finals.
Cleaning the inside? No, the engine, the fuel injectors. If deposits build up there, it can really mess up performance.
I can't clean them.
You can with this. STP Injector Cleaner. It cleans up all those harmful deposits, which means better engine performance, sharper acceleration, and even your fuel goes further.
Now that is smart.
Right, well, engines are started. Lucas Oz, Junior Dragster, coming around the corner. And here we go then, the start of qualifying for the STP National Finals. And in the very first pairing, we have a young man. That is head of the points chase in Junior Dragster. Wonder if he can stay out front for the rest of the weekend. It's a little championship at stake here. This is Luke Fulton. Got a 240-point lead over the defending champion, Matthew Dowdy. Going alongside Frankie. Happy one this weekend. So then don't forget it's reaction times for the juniors, nothing to do with speeds or ETs, but when it comes down to eliminations they have to dial their cars in. So they're still learning everything about the conditions, about the racetrack, about their cars as the day progresses and get themselves sorted out for tomorrow. So then a couple of junior modified advanced cars, no quicker than 7.90. Good start. Frankie goes 0.19, Lou goes 0.12, but as we know, we'll be looking for everybody in the zeros this weekend. Next up, Lottie Bradford, Caitlin Wilson, two former junior Dragster champions. So Caitlin Wilson in the team misdemeanor Dragster. Of course, Morgan Wilson doing extremely well in VW Sportsman, her first season, just had 2 events and is leading those. That points chase very comfortably indeed. So both into pre-stage. Lights counting down. Red for Lottie and into the number 1 spot for the time being for Caitlin with a 0.11. It was only a 0.6 for Lottie, but it was still a red, unfortunately. Next up then, Purdy Hadfield. Been through the mill this year. He's had some awesome runs and the pain last weekend at Rod Drags, but he's already got it rebuilt. I really do take my hat off to the bloke. Going alongside Teddy Sullivan. Looks like he swapped cars. Right, I think, yeah, may have. Yes, I was going to say, didn't think it was Teddy. He's in the blue car. It's Damien Redshaw. There we go. The Odyssey Batteries car. So Purdy goes 0.18, Damien 0.66. The Frankster, Frankie Fordham in the STP lane. Going alongside, I think it's going to be Mackenzie Love. Now Mackenzie normally at the sharp end of the qualifying list. Plays a lot of drag racing on the computer at home, so he hones his reaction times there. Does very well actually. Frankie Fordham, runner-up in last year's championship. Oh my goodness me, he's done it again. 007 for Mackenzie Love. Just go 08 into the number 2 spot. So Mackenzie setting his stall out very early indeed. And whilst we're looking at the perfect reaction times and perfect ETs, the Perfect Light Award is £50. When I say this weekend, it's not this weekend, it's today. Massive thanks to Bad Habit Racing, of course, Kath and Tig. £50 for the first Perfect Light today, and if nobody gets one, it rolls over to £100 tomorrow. Alternatively, if somebody gets a Perfect Light today, then we have another Perfect Light Award tomorrow. Perfect ET, sponsored by, of course, Euro Dragster and the Twister Race team, and that's £50 up for grabs this weekend. Next up then, Chevrolet Check-It with the Flame Game Dragster going alongside Kai Cooper from Fenny Racing. to the number 2 spot then for Kai Cooper. Chevrolet goes 0.15. Slots in to the number 6 spot. So a 0-3 puts you in at number 2. It's all going to swap around as the weekend progresses. All right, next up then, Jake Cooper, also for Fanny Racing, and Caitlin Deavy. Pat just bringing Caitlin up to the line. So many happy returns to Caitlin yesterday, the birthday girl. .12 for Caitlin, .24 for Jake. So Caitlin actually stuck just past 1,000 foot there. She did come off the gas before the 8th mile, so we'll get her retrieved. So this is round 1 of Junior Dragster. Now, unusually at the National Finals, we normally only get 4 rounds of qualifying scheduled today, so going to be quite entertaining as well. And then, of course, we've got those carryover finals at the end of the day as well. Well, Caitlin's car being pushed towards the finishing line. One advantage of Junior Dragster, they're a lot lighter than all the other race cars here, and a very, very easy job indeed, just to get Caitlin pushed around the corner. And obviously she'll just go off the first exit. So yeah, strong entry in Junior Dragster this weekend. One of our busier race classes indeed. And of course I think everybody that's in with a shout of scoring points to further their progression in the Junior Dragster title chase this weekend is here. So a very, very good. So yeah, going to be a very, very interesting indeed. We do have an exhibition class as well. Spotted that one on the run all today. I know of one car definitely that's booked into that. Don't know if there's any others, but nevertheless, going to be very, very interesting to see how they progress this weekend. Okay, so next pair being told to fire up. So next up then, Freddie Taylor with the Outlaw Angria. Keeping right over to the left-hand side, not wanting to get stuck on the start line as it's exceptionally grippy out there. But if you take the Junior Dragster out of the main groove, if you like, it's not quite as sticky, and it has been known for some of the juniors to actually get stuck on the start line, especially the junior stock cars, because obviously they don't have a lot of power. And they can actually get their rear tyres stuck on the start line, and they go for the gas. And So Freddie Taylor puts a .23 on the board, but obviously will improve the next 3 runs. So Daniel Weir going alongside Lola Bell Kent. Lola Bell driving junior stock, Daniel Weir junior modified. So if you're wondering what the numbers are up on the scoreboards, 11.90 is as quick. Daniel 0.18, Lola Bell 0.64. They go 9th and 13th respectively. So Matthew Dowdy there, number 2 in the points. And that's, we've seen Dame Redshaw, that must be Harry. So Matthew Dowdy coming into this event number 2 in the points chase. But it's got Luke Fulton. See how he gets on. Not always number 1 qualifier, but he's one that hangs around at the end of the day, and that's where the points are. Mind you, a 0.30 puts him into the number 2 spot. Nice move from Matthew. Harry Redshaw goes into the number 9 spot. But that will do nicely, yeah, if you're Matthew Dowdy into the number 2 spot. Qualifying really does make a bit of difference. The points there. Good opener. Right. A battle yesterday between myself and Harley Coulsell as to who the happiest person on site was. Harley Coulsell was was told that he'd be having a go in Thomas's Dragster yesterday in testing, but no. To Harley, so he's back out racing and loving it, and he's racing his great buddy Thomas. See who's the quicker. Oh, I don't know if they're going to battle to see who was the quickest, but they've got exactly the same reaction time, 0.0460. Unbelievable. Oh, an 8 flat. Mark Coulsell very happy, but identical reaction times, 0.460. Unbelievable. Right, Ada Cassisi, another one from the team, with Cherry Bomb going alongside Jacqueline Bartlett. Now, Jacqueline, she's number 5 in the championship points chase this year. Car looks fantastic in the new Slick Tricks livery. And you've got to love the Cherry Bomb name and the t-shirts. It just all works so well. Oh, that was tight. 0.007 red for Jacqueline. Oh, so close to a perfect light there. Ada with a .21. But Jacqueline really upping her game in junior dragster now. racing. So George into pre-stage, we'll wait for Teddy. Puts George into the number 7 spot. The thing with all the juniors, they're just setting out their stalls now, just putting their early runs in. But as the day progresses, watch the order shuffle around. All right, Lara Bartlett then, the second of the Slick Tricks Racing Junior Dragsters. Lara numbered 10 in the points. But qualifying points will be added tonight and we'll get an updated champion. He's going to be a very busy man today. Lara with a .18. Puts that into number 16. 808 at 80 mile an hour. Right, we move on to Modjestang Pro ET. Once again, strong entry for Pro ET Championship this year. As we know, it's a 3-round championship, and the points chase has been headed by Bob Molden. Tom Watkins in number 2 spot. From Mason Griffiths on the European Finals, taking the lead in there. He's in at number 4. All right, Vic Parsons, birthday boy this week. So the dial-ins then. Don't forget, quarter mile, of course, now, and this is dial-in, so they're going to set their number. See if they can hit it. 10.20 for Vic Parsons. Normally always starts around that number. And 9.47 the target for James Forster. Oh, 10.25. Nice opener there for Vic. And unfortunately James been pushed back. Well, he got it into pre-stage okay, but I think just getting the car set up to go into stage wasn't entirely happy. But still got 3 more goes at it, so he will be back for Q. A pair. It's going to be Guy King with a Chevelle, dialing in a 10.08, and it's Nick Williams in his dad's 55. Territory for that car. Yeah, the Guy King has dipped into the 9s with the Chevelle. Williams Brothers. Complete new build. Well, what's the team got for us? Can they run a 10 this weekend? Can I please have VW Sportsman? King goes, oh, 10-12, but they've done it. 10.98 for the Williams Brothers 55 Chevy, and I bet Lorne knew it was going to run a 10. So congratulations to Williams Brothers getting the 10.55 into the 10s. 10.98 at 118. Guy King 10.12 at 130 miles an hour. So a 302 small block Chevy built by Dan Williams goes in the 10s. Here he goes then, Bob Bolden, your points leader in the championship chase this year, going alongside Chris Newsom. Darlings 9.55 and 9.30. Oh, whoa, big breakout for Bob, 9.49. Chris Newsom, though, goes 9.50 on a 9.30. Next up, Wayne Hiscock with the Chevelle. Had a great weekend last weekend here at the Hot Rod Drags. And Dave Rudd with the Banzai Cobra. Well, good to see Dave Rudd back out of the quarter barrel. Been missing for a while when getting the car rebuilt. But good to have him back. Dials in a 10 flat. Wayne Hiscock looking for a 9.48. Big breakout. And Dave Rudd, 9.96. Guess what? Breakout. But that was a huge run for Wayne Hiscock there. 9.41. Was doing that last weekend. But nevertheless, awesome run. Right, Andy Smith with the Challenger. Running great numbers yesterday. Going alongside Jeff Cowley with the Nova. So nice to see one of the modern muscle cars making an appearance in Pro ET. And not only that, dialing in 9.90. Stout number. This thing really does go. Jeff 9.42, 9.99 for Andy Smith. And say hello to your new number one qualifier there, Jeff Cowley. You know, with the S type 10.25. Well, seeing some PBs already. Well, seeing some big breakouts this morning, some PBs as well. Never know. Lee Morris could just sneak under his 10.25. And it'd be great to see Gino back in the 8s again. It's been a while since he's ran an 8. But the car and driver are certainly capable of it. Leaves the line like a scalded cat there. Hooked up and went. Goes 9.12 and oh. Simon Fulton then with the Blitzkrieg Racing Falcon, dialing in 9.90, which by no strange coincidence is his dial in 9.10. Good light there for Simon. See the throttle stop kick in and then releases, charges to the top end. 9.98 for Darren Law. Darren Law, 8.97, and I think that's his first journey into the 8, so well done to him. Can I please have VW Pro into the pairing lanes, please? VW Pro into the pairing lanes. Well, two standout performers this year. Tom Watkins with in his Dodge, so he's back to his spare vehicle, taking it off Neil. And Ronnie Mercer, goodness me, went into the 8s last weekend, dialing in 9 flat, so he's obviously loving life on the nitrous. And normally he calms the car down when he runs in Pro ET, goes for consistency, but he's thinking, oh, it's the last minute of the year, I'm going for it. So 9 flat, the dial-in for Ronnie Mercer. And I tell you what, they won't be unhappy if they break out. Well done to the Laws there with the Wicked Lady. First 8, was that? Yes. Not quite sure what happened to Ronnie there. Very unusual to have a hiccup with Ronnie. 11:36 breakout there for Tom Watkins. $16.93 is 78 there for Ronnie, but he'll be back. Yeah, no idea. Well, talking last weekend and PBs and everything, Dave Cherritt last weekend in the 9.6s. Brilliant PBs from them. Going alongside Dave Fulton with the Camaro. Now, Dave Fulton will also be running in Super Gas. He's number 2 in the points chase. Good battle with Andy Harrison there. And not only that, Dave Fulton is number 5 in the points in Pro ET. Dialing in 9 flat, going alongside Dave Cherritt's 10.50. And a 10.06. And all goes 9.94 with the little dragster going alongside Amy Watkins. That's a stout dial-in and very achievable for that a bird. 9.47. I'm just wondering if next year Amy's car will appear with wheelie bars, or are they going to stick without? Because that car really does lift the fronts up beautifully these days. Amy's got a real handle on that car. Yeah, nice little wheelie, not too high, good for momentum. So, could be a 9.4. Oh, it's just under, so both the Watkins cars break out. One by 200ths, one by 100th. Oh, that was real close. Double breakout. Oh, everybody's going quick. Right, next up then, Mason Griffiths with the Appliance. Took the event win at not the European Finals. Dialing in 9.32. And it's Lee Huxley behind the wheel of the Mustang this weekend. He was driving a Chevy, but they're not the Europeans. 07 light for Lee. Now then, his target, 9.58. Can I have Funny Bike into the pairing lanes, please? Funny Bike into the lanes. Double breakout, big breakout for Mason, 9.24 on a 32. And Lee Huxley breaks out 9.56 with an 8 on a 9.58. Yeah, another call then, sorry. Funny Bike, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? Funny Bike. Car back out again, last driven by Tyler Ashdown. Dean Roby behind the wheel of the car now. So to the 8th at 6:54, 74 mile an hour, that looked planned. Yep. So I believe Dean going through licensing procedures. Pro ET. Points leader is that man out there, Tom Atkinson. Got a 200-point lead over Phil Toppin. And Dave Russell, the man with no name. These two normally come out together. First pairing in Super Pro. So can I please have Junior Drag Bike into the pairing lanes, please? Junior Drag Bike into the pairing lanes. So the dial-ins then, 880 in Super Pro ET, going alongside Mr. Bartlett himself, Ron Bartlett, Sweet FA. Dialing in 8.26 with the Anglia, Mike Lacey 8.90 with the Camaro. This year, but that scratch couldn't be resisted. That itch had to be dealt with. So Ron Bartlett unfortunately being pushed back, so it's going to be a solo for Mike Lacey. So all things being well, Mike should lift front wheels fairly high and make full use of the wheelie bar. Oh yes he did. Beautiful launch. Nicely controlled. Low 9 or high 8? What was that? Low 9. So far. Right, Phil Toppin, the Corvette, still hasn't got a name. Going alongside Rob Brown in Rebel. Good to see them in Super Pro ET. They had a great weekend in the Wild Bunch last weekend. They always have a good weekend, actually, do the Browns. So the dial is an 8.59 for Rob. Phil looking for 8.89. Ah, right. It looks like Phil Toppin's car's now got a name. Grandad's Toy. Just seen it on the back of the car. .81 from Phil Toppin, 150 mile an hour, awesome run. My word, that car is working so well now. And it's an 8.73 for the Rebel Dragster. God, Phil Toppin, what a transformation that car has performed. It's been so good now. Can I please have Top Speed Automotive Street Eliminator? Alan Didwell and Nick Good. Shame we haven't seen Nick Good's supercharged Dragster this year, but at least they are here this weekend, and good to see the Windscreen Wizards car, obviously supported by Lucas Oils as well, and good to see Nick out racing as well. So Dave Catton out front. Alan Didwell dials in 7.64. Nick Good dials in 7.60. The two falling dragsters. Oh, 008 reaction time there for Alan. He was so close to the money there. Pretty close to the wall as well, but he keeps it off. 7.65 on a 64. Nick Good. Both of them over 170 mile an hour as well. That was a well, if you want to typify drag race, no, Mark also was just going to say hi to the Rebel team there. That's cool. You got the slingshot, how it used to be, and obviously you got the current setup. In the auto elimination, in other words, you've got a driver behind the engine and a driver in front of the engine. What am I saying? It's how it was and how it is now. They're both correct. They're both current. So Pete Walters in the auto glim lane was due to run at not the Euros, but fortunately Rich Walters did his leg in this weekend. And Mark Corsell finally cracked that 160 mile an hour barrier that had been so tantalisingly close for an eternity, but he got it last weekend. And I think he had about 4 or 5 runs at 160 plus in the end. Even went 162. So Rich Walters and Steve Cassisi bring the two cars forward. The dial-ins then. 8.30 for Mark, 7.7 for Pete. Away well, but Pete literally hit the loud pedal and 30 foot out. That was all it was. Engine died very quickly indeed. And an 8.39 for Mark Corsell. But not quite sure what's happened to Pete. They pulled the car over to the right very, very quickly indeed. No sign of any fluid or underneath the car. Well, fingers crossed it's not wounded. But Pete, a very, very experienced driver indeed. If he sensed something was wrong, he could have even clicked that off early himself. But they'll get that car back to the pits, they'll get that checked over, and obviously, all being well, we'll see them out again for more qualifying later on. But we shall see. Next up then will be Callum Swinchat. When is the 8.7s last weekend in the Wild Bunch? Goodness me, that car is... Well, just looking down on Pete's Dragster there, nothing visibly wrong. But they'll get that back to the pits, not dropping any fluid, blower belt still on there. So yeah, we'll get an update on that one a little bit later on. Right. Right, Street Eliminator into the pairing lanes now. Please, Street Eliminator. Green light National. Change of plan there. It'll be the first in the first session. They'll maybe get their final. So Callum Swinchat then, what's he got dialed in for us today? He's back to the, looks like 8.90. Well, I wonder if he's going to break out. It's a crosswind today, not a tailwind. And Ashley Bell also dialing in 8.90. But the way Cal's car was flying last weekend, I don't even want to tempt fate and say he's going to run an 8.8, but let's see what happens. But one thing is for sure, that little Topolino really does fly up the course. Car. So, side by side, 8.90 is the target. A little bit wayward there for Cal. Well, it's definitely not going to be an 8 this time round. 8.69 for Ashley Bell. Whoa, awesome run. More than 2/10 off his dial-in. 10.23 at 99 there for Callum. Both of them with 121.60 foot there, but as I say, Cal was moving all around his lane. So Scott Hauser in the auto glim lane. The number 3 spot at the moment. And I was going to say Barry Giles, but he's walking next to the car. So check the screen. Yep, it's Daniel Giles behind the wheel this weekend. Can I please have Super Comp into the pairing lanes, please? Super Comp, we have you into the pairing lanes, please. So the dial-in's then at 7.43, both lanes. Makes life very easy indeed. The Giles and Harley Dragster consistently dials in the 7.4s, but Scott used to be in the 7.5s, but recent performance improvements have seen Scott and of course Jeff bring that dial-in down into the 7.4s and 7.43. The number of choice this time round. Away well, Daniel with a slightly better light, but it's all about the ETs, that's what we're looking for. 7.43 with a 2. Bang tidy run for the Bang Tidy Dragster, goes into the number 1 spot. Jeff's happy, he's got a smile on his face. 7.38 breakout for Daniel Giles, nearly 180 miles an hour at the stripe. So slight adjustment required there for Daniel, but good run for Scott, takes the number 1 spot for this session. Right, we move on to VW Sportsman. Brilliant title chase for VW Sportsman. Morgan Wilson got a huge points lead, but it's not quite over yet, I don't think. Bruce Harvey and Charlotte. The points chase. Goes 14 flat on a 1380 dial-in, and Charlotte goes 14.59 on a 14.20. Right, Gareth Bates with the Dirty Mistress Audi TT, and Lee Caudry with Poppy, the Leon Cupra. Well, there's only a 100th difference between them on the dial-ins. 14 flat for Lee, 14.01 for Gareth. And a breakout, 13.87. That's quite a big breakout actually there for Lee. But Gareth, the right side, 14.81 on 14.01. P, I like that. The little Lupo there, dialing in 1999. Going alongside Andrew Turner with Red October, the Audi TT, dialing in 14 flat. Oh, 0.5 light for Ethan. The rolling Pete was rolling before the green came on. But I like the fact that Ethan will just find anything and drive it up the corner mile. So 15.72, 87 miles an hour for Andrew, and lethal Lyle. I think that's going to stick actually. 21.20 at 60 miles an hour there for Ethan. I've got to call him Lethal Lyle now. That's going to stick. Oh, we've still got quite a few more VW Sportsman cars to come around, including our championship points leader. And of course, Morgan Wilson. Right, Justin Foley with the Red Dwarf, the Golf, dialing in 14.35, and Charlie Roberts with this little up, love this one, dialing in 13 flat. Yeah, needless to say, that's not the original engine in the up. 5. Oh, problems there for Charlie. He didn't sound entirely happy leaving the line. I think he's naturally got no idea. 14.12 for Justin Foley. That's a decent breakout. Over 2/10 too quick on his chosen number. And no idea what's happened to poor Charlie out there. But hopefully it's not mortally wounded and they'll come back round. But that's the great thing with the VW DRC and all the races there. If somebody has a problem, they all pounce on it and get it fixed. And I've seen engines being swapped, I've seen gearboxes out, all sorts of things. So, yeah.
Cleaning the inside? No, the engine. The fuel injectors. If deposits build up there, it can really mess up performance.
I can't clean them.
You can with this. STP Injector Cleaner. It cleans up all those harmful deposits, which means better engine performance, sharper acceleration, and even your fuel goes further.
Now that is smart.
The Beetle, dial in 14.10. That's Lawrence Clark with Thunderbug. John Crawford's dial in 15.85. Well, Lawrence is going to get there first. Oh, breaks out 14.01, and John Crawford, that is a huge breakout by 0.6 of a second, 15.33. Right, Fee Sinclair with Out of the Blue, the Beetle. That is one cool looking paint jobbing process. I like it. Just leave it like that. It's cool. Going alongside Rob Cresswell with the into the pairing lanes, please. Supergas, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? The Darlings then, 14.20 for Fee, 13.70 for Rob. $13.57 breakout there for Rob. 14.44 the right side there for Fee. All right, Tom Herbert, the Ring Machine, the Golf, going alongside. With the Havoc Misdemeanor Beetle. So good to see Morgan back racing, and it would only be in a VW bug, wouldn't it? So the Darlings then, 17.65 for Morgan, 14 flat for Tom. $14.12 for Tom, good run. So then the points lead 45, breaks out by 0.2. That's okay, we don't mind. Going next up then, Polly Judge and Joe Kellett. Huh? Joe, that was too cool, holding your dial-in board out the window, mate. That was too cool. So Joe with the A3, running in Sportsman ET. Unfortunately, having destroyed the engine in his Super Pro Dragster. Well, I think Joe was a bit brave on the 1490. $16.40, $17.28. More to come from Joe, definitely. Polly, 16.41 target, 16.40 run, breaks up by less than 100th. Oh, so close. Right, Spencer Tram, the Interceptor. I want to see Spencer race Joe, because those of you that did the online drag racing with the Rip Rap Racer Club, Spencer and Joe raced in a final. And Spencer put in a heck of a run. I mean, he had a 00 light and he was bang on his dial in, and Joe beat him. It was unbelievable. It was the closest race we'd watched all season long with the Rip Rat Racer Club during lockdown. And Spencer Tram dialing in 17.5 with the Golf. Well, he was going for the money on the perfect reaction time. There went 006 red. So heading up to the strike then. How well has he judged this one? It's a breakout. 17.29 at 79 mile an hour. But then I don't think Spencer drives this very often. And that was a good effort. But cracking reaction time. So that's the end of VW Sportsman. We move on to VW Pro. First up, Michael Mooney with Flat Larat, the Beetle, alongside James Gould for Team Militia. The Darlings, 12.50, plays 11 flat. Another call out for Supergas into the pairing lanes, please. Supergas. James Gould gets there first, goes 11.86 and a 13.32 on a 12.50 there for Michael. Luke Stevenson with the Loner, and they've been swapping engines yesterday, going alongside Silver Golf belongs to the guy in the Auto Glim lane, of course, that's Carl. So the Darlings then, 10.88 for Luke, 10.50 for Carl. Carl's managed to get this car into the 9s this year, but calming it down to run 10.50. But the Loner has been a phenomenal car, that, on such a good budget as well. When I say good, as in cheap. Well, Lukey Boy going for the perfect money. Went red though by 009. 11.19 plays an 11.12. Luke Stevenson goes into the #1 spot for the time being. Can we please have NEM Plant Nostalgia Superstock into the pairing lanes, please? NEM Plant Nostalgia Superstock into the pairing lanes. Right, Bruce Kopaz with a Dirty Martini. The Porsche 924. Going alongside James Hodson with the Golf. He dials in 10.30. Bruce dialing in 11.99. Well, I think Bruce has got a box full of neutrals there. He was trying to find a gear. Got one eventually. But 10.46 for James Hodson as he goes through. 138 at the stripe. Bruce gets a 16.53 at 114. Percy, the Passat. I love that. What a car. Dialing in 9.90. Stock body, but obviously got tubs to accommodate those big rear tyres. That is so cool. Alongside the Late Goose, Adrian Solly. 10.90 on the dial-in. Watch Adrian struggle for traction as he gets off the line. The car will dance around a little bit, settle down, then really go. Actually, that's a much calmer run there for Adrian. Oh no, there he is, tail wagging again. 11.37, but a 0013 reaction time. And the Goose goes into number 2. Rob Carter goes through with 11.55. He's at number 6, but a very good attempt at the perfect reaction time money there for Adrian Solly. But not quite. So Ian Huggan with the Dark Side Beetle. Dialing in 12.20. And that's the 13 flat and 105 and puts him into the number 4 spot. Right, move on to Leaks Landscapes, funny bike. And the title is basically between two riders. Mark Smith and Louis Davis. Only 40 points between them. And Louis Davis in the Auto Glim lane. Going alongside Phil Crossley, the Shed of Dreams. He's in the STP lane. Well, we did have the engine apart yesterday. They were, or well, we're not sure, but 8.32 there for Phil Crossley. Louis goes through with a 12.24. And just the two funny bikes put in a run in that time. Move on to Junior Drag Bike. Casey Holgate and Liam Holgate. The Darlings then 8:41 and 10:20. Oh, 8:42 for Liam. Very well judged run indeed. 10:58 there for Casey. But to hit for Liam. All right, next up then is Blade. He wants an 8.60. Nicely away there for Blade. That's looking quick. 8:55 breaks out by 0.05 of a second, but a nice run there. That was good. We like that. 8:55 and an 8:60 dial. Top Speed Automotive Street Eliminator. Tony Higgs and Nick Hale. So really good to see Anthony Higgs back at the pod this weekend. Daughter's birthday this weekend, so many happy returns to Katie. I think it was Thursday, the birthday there for Katie, but I know I wished you happy birthday over the social media, but now you're getting it at the track as well. Going alongside Nick Hale. Heads up, class. Well, that ain't a bad run there for Tony. Goes 890 at 164 miles an hour and 1101 at 124 for Nick. The Sunbeam Stiletto, he was having a great time last weekend, running very nicely into the sevens at the Hot Rod Drags. Going alongside James Murray with the Cortina. Now I'd like to see James getting into the very low 11s. And Joe, well, just carrying from where we were last weekend, sir. And, yeah, he'll be running 7.7s. Well, both of them fighting for a bit of traction there. Line 42 at 150 and 1231 at 119. But say both of them broke traction there. Comp Eliminator, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? Comp Eliminator, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? Dave Day with Plan B, the 30. Such a good looking car, this one. Dave and his son Elliot put this together. Bit of an evening and weekend project car for father and son. The car came out last year. And Dave's just been building up on the performance since then. But lovely, lovely car. And of course, being Street Eliminator, totally street legal as well. That's nice and straight. Just chirp the tyres as you left the line, so just have a second stab at it. Attention to just as we await the next pair to come around the corner. A few more of you here now. A very good morning. Welcome to Santa Pod Raceway for this, the National Finals, sponsored by STP. Once again, many thanks to them for their increased involvement here at Santa Pod Raceway and for taking on the lane sponsorship, of course, of the left-hand lane. So here we go then, the last pair in Top Speed Automotive Street Eliminator, and this has quite a influence on the points chasers. This is the carryover final from the Green Light Nationals. So we got 3 carryover finals from the Green Light Nationals. This is one of them. Al Williamson with a Howling Hauler and Mark Todd with the 6 appeal. Now Mark has been into the 6s with this car. Al's been in a very low. So none of them have learnt the track yet. They don't know what it's going to hold just yet. So does Mark Todd take it easy and just shadow Al and get the event win from the Green Light Nationals? And don't forget, so Mark Todd with 6 appeal. The Howling Hauler, Al Williamson, heads up first to the top end, wins. Mark Todd is away, but lost a little bit of traction there, but he's got it hooked up. Al Williamson is shadowing to the line, but it is a 768 at 196 miles an hour, 867, 131. Howling Hauler team. It's Mark Todd that takes that one, and of course takes the carryover final, takes that win from the Green Light Nationals. So obviously that's more work for Simon Groves to do, as he will update the points this evening, and he can now put that final update in there as well. So we look around the corner to see, and it's going to be Super Comp. It's just a little bit of whilst we've just got a quick moment, just a reminder on the COVID situation here at Santa Pod Raceway. We are delighted.
You're cleaning the inside? No, the engine. The fuel injectors. If deposits build up there, it can really mess up performance.
I can't clean them.
You can with this. STP Injector Cleaner. It cleans up all those harmful deposits, which means better engine performance, sharper acceleration, and even your fuel goes further.
Now that is smart.
This monster will go from 0 to 100 mile an hour in 1 second, so I depend on Draper tools.
Playing their part, enabling us to continue doing what we love so much. And a lot of us rely on this, you know, for our entertainment, and there's a lot of people here that rely on this for their businesses as well. So without this place, a lot of people can be severely affected. So we really do thank absolutely everybody from the bottom of our heart for continuing to do it right. And if we weren't doing it right, we'd have been told, we'd have been shut down, but we are doing it right. So again, thanks to absolutely everybody. I'll repeat it again a bit later on. On the flip side of that, I make no apologies for doing it either. So let's have a look on the track at the moment. Well, Ian's back out with the tractor. Those of you that were here last weekend, the tractor was a casualty last Friday. One of the few casualties we had. Broke something in the front axle. I'm no mechanic, so I don't know what broke, but basically it meant that the tractor was out of action and had to be literally craned off the track last weekend. Very clever balancing act between one of the on-site vehicles here. Managed to lift the front end up, and then between the tractor and the crane managed to get it removed. So, but that's been fixed during the week, so well done to the pod track team for getting that all sorted out. But we did manage to see the reserve tractor back out. Hadn't seen that for a while, but they always keep that. So pod race. And I've also got to give a shout out to Nick Williams and Lorne Denny yesterday, as one of the Sanapod support pickup trucks developed a problem, and Nick and Lorne managed to get that one all fixed up as well. So that again, it just keeps all the track vehicles here running perfectly. So well done to Nick and Lorne yesterday, and big thanks from Sanapod Raceway for getting that truck sorted out. So yeah, it's all happening. Right, so let's have a look down then. We are in to Super Comp, and Steve Hudson with the intravenous Model T going alongside Leia Kellett, who had an absolute blast yesterday. Car was a little bit twitchy to say the least, but it looks like it's all working again. So absolutely delighted for Leia and the team. There's been a big smile on their face yesterday. Once again, can we have Comp Eliminator into the pairing lanes, please? Comp Eliminator. Can we have you? Lead in Super Comp. So Dolly Daydream, it's so good to see them. Steve Hudson, consistent 8.9s. So basically, up the championship in Super Comp. Ooh, taking the scenic route to do it. Now then, Leah Kellett. This is where she goes 890 dead. Oh, 868. That's a breakout. But do you know what? Who cares? She's still smiling. They'll adjust that. But the most important thing for the Kellets, they've got a car that works. And absolutely delighted for them. Steve Hudson goes 1119. And obviously that gets him qualified. So that's a championship sewn up there. Congratulations to Steve Hudson. Right, a pension pot dragster, Paul Hudson. So, class index then, 8.90. Well, that's a nice arrow straight run if ever I've seen one. Bit of a breakout though, 8.79. $166 miles an hour. We move on to Super Gas. Now then, we have quite a title battle going on here. The Dave Grady Super Gas Championship. Dave Fulton and Andy Harrison, they've both won one race apiece. Now then, for Dave Fulton to win the championship, he needs to win the event, basically. Andy Harrison has got the points advantage. Very bizarre run for Dave Fulton. No such issues for Andy Harrison. 10.04. And Dave Fulton just coasting through with a 16.35. He's double classing, so hopefully he's not wounded. Right, the Blitzkrieg Falcon, Simon Fulton. I like that on the back, 9.90-ish. I think I had a carryover from another one, actually. So the aim of the game, 9.90. 987 with a 9, just a little bit of a breakout there. So we move on into NEM Plant Nostalgia Superstock. Now then, this time round they're not running their final straightaway because Jack Bishop, #1 in the points chase, goes alongside Neil Francis. So big class this weekend for Nostalgia Superstock, and I know there's quite a few cars in the wings ready to come out next year. So going to be very good indeed. But Jack Bishop, as I say, points leader in the chase from Stuart Thompson, #2, and Adrian Portelli in the #3 spot. So then Jack dials in at 9.85, Neil 12.70, Jack runs 9.84, breakout by Francis on a 12.70. That is your #1 qualifier. It's obviously the first pairing, but that's a good number. 500ths off. $13.62. You gotta love the El Camino. Paul Smale going alongside Pete Christmas, the Fallen Angel, dialing in 11.80. Comp Eliminator into the pairing lanes. I think I've already called them, but we'll give them another shout anyway. Comp Eliminator, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? El Camino looking for 1362. The Demon 1180. And the Elkie goes 1454. Don Mozzarella Scott with the big cheese. Now then, how close to a 14 can he get? John Davidson, the Soper and Heck Roadrunner, 1044. He was running 10.3s last weekend. So what's the mighty Mozzarella got for us today then? Oh, nice launch there, John Davison. That was really hooked up well. $10.76, 123. And Don goes through with a 17.24 at 78. Can't hear me at all. Next up, Vic Parsons, sticking with that 10.2 alongside Jim Chandler, 9.95. Lovely launch there for Jim, an 03 light, but 0017 even better from Vic. 10.07 plays a 10.49, but Vic Parsons oh so close to that perfect light award, but it still stands. It's still there. I don't think he's ever going to take that spare engine out of that car. It's working perfectly. Ran 969 and 970 in testing yesterday. Chris Lahren with the Falcon looking for 13 flat. Has dipped into the 12s before. Oh, skywards. Ollie will be pointing for a few moments. Then when the front wheels come back down, the run will continue. So for Williams Brothers Racing then, James Oliver. Working so well now. $9.69 for Ollie. It's off. Right, a reminder for everybody, please. Can you please make sure you sign on before you come into the pairing lanes, please? Make sure that you sign on before you come into the lanes. I'm liking the message, Adrian, on the back of the Dodge. I'm not a Kiwi. So, Stuart Thompson. Who is Kiwi? And Adrian Portelli with the Dodge. Right, dial-ins, 11.10 plays 9.90. Well, both went a bit too soon, doesn't matter in qualifying. 9.84, big breakout, and Adrian Portelli also breaks out, goes too quick. 9.84, 11.04. Both break out by 600ths. Right, Jim Smith going alongside Dan Williams. Dan dialing in 11.05 with the Williams Brothers Impala. And Jim Smith with the Challenger dialing in 11.60. So 327 small block built by Dan himself. Will this go into the 10s this weekend? We've already seen the 55 Chevy from Williams Brothers go into the 10s. 009 red there for Jim. Oh, it was that close. 11.04 with an 8 on 11.05 Darling. Dan Williams breaks out. 11.65 there for Jim. All chasing Ollie at the moment. Class sponsor. Next up, Chris Goodale, Guy King. Well, these two like to trade insults and banter and you name it. And it's not unusual to see these two lined up together. Can I have Comp Bike into the pairing lanes, please? Comp Bike, can we have you into the pairing lanes? So the Darlings then, Chris Darling in 10.42 with that gorgeous Camaro. And Guy King, Darling in 10.08. Once again, another one of the Williams Brothers Racing squad. Guy very keen to get away from the line. Cherry on the tree, doesn't matter. Guy will get there first with a 10.18 against a 10.45. Guy King goes in at number 5, but Chris with the Camaro, your new number 1 qualifier. Dave Simcock, 10.10. The Watts Shop Gang were here en masse last weekend, having a great time in Run What You Brung. Some very stout numbers being run indeed from the guys. So Dave Billadoo, the Yorkshire Heavy Wagon, this is actually up for sale. 10.65. Proper car, that. Oh, Dave Simcock billowing some vapour at the top there. Goes through with a 10.24 and 10.65 for Dave Billadoo. He hits his number and he goes into the number 1 spot. 126 mile an hour at the stripe. It's a great run there for Dave. Going alongside Claire Johnson. 9.99 Darling for Claire. All's Thunder and the Rod Shop Dodge Dunning in 10.50. Duncan very keen to get to the top end first. Good looking run for Claire. Oh my word! Where did that come from? 9.82? Wow. Monstrous run, that one. 10.57, great run from Duncan Watts, but Claire Johnson, 9.82? Woo. Blimey, she won't be able to stop smiling. Right, Bob Main made the trip down from Edinburgh. He was, I think he was the first to arrive on site. Got here early doors on Thursday, had to wait for the gates to open. But top bloke is Bob. Darling in 14.35 with the Coronet. And not a bad run indeed. Into the number 7 spot there with a 14.43, just 0.08 of a second off. Right, the Street Sweeper. This is Bev Tyrrell. Looking for a 13.80. Can I please have Hutchinson and Dibley, Sportsman ET into the pairing lanes, please. Sportsman ET, can we have you into the pairing lanes? So, target time for Bev then, 13.80. 13.66, big break out there for Bev. Nice one, Rob. Oh, she won't mind, she's broken out at all. Right, going to get very loud, going to get very, very entertaining indeed. As it is a comp eliminator up next, but will be a little bit of track prep first, and as the glue bird gets ready to go out once again. Can see in the pairing lanes, George Chirella with straight to the point, and also 5.92. Yeah, Kev Slyfield. As I say, a little bit of a breather to do a little bit of track prep as we're going to send a 5-second car down the quarter mile in the not too distant future. Once again, folks, massive thanks for coming to see us this weekend for the STP National Finals here at Santa Pod Raceway. And if you are leaving the grandstands just for a moment, or if you're leaving the banking just for a moment, don't forget to make sure that you are sticking to the social distancing rules. You know what it's all about this weekend. Unfortunately, been living with it since March, but the rules keep changing. We keep you updated as much as we can, but just make sure.
You're cleaning the inside? No, the engine, the fuel injectors. If deposits build up there, it can really mess up performance.
I can't clean them.
You can with this STP Injector Cleaner. It cleans up all those harmful deposits, which means better engine performance, sharper acceleration, and even your fuel goes further.
Now that is smart.
This monster will go from 0 to 100 mile an hour in 1 second, so I depend on Draper tools.
Have you thought about giving your DPF a little detox?
Give us a clue.
Diesel particulate filter.
Does my car have one?
Well, it's newer than 2009, so yeah. And with you constantly doing short trips to the gym and into town, it could get clogged up with exhaust soot. And if it isn't cleared, it could be costly. Just think of it as a health regime for your fuel filter.
Okay, I get it.
What you need is STP Diesel Particulate Filter Cleaner. Just simply pour it into your fuel tank. It helps clean and protect your DPF, which means reduced emissions, restored power, and hopefully no hefty garage bills.
You should have your own.
Well, the engine is fired on the blown bird, and it is going to be Kev Slyfield coming round the corner. They're running in comp eliminator. Now then, we've had no MSA Pro Modified Championship this year. So Kev's decided to have a go in comp eliminator, and doing very well as well. He's in with a shout actually of taking comp eliminator as a class. Going to be taking on George Chirella with the straight to the point Ford Coupe. George currently 4th in points chase. See him in the lanes going to be going alongside Wayne Hancock in our second pairing. Well, Kev Slyfield, standout performances this year, 5-second form, and it's so good to have a full-blown pro modified running here today. Got another one that will be coming out in exhibition class later on. So Woody just brings Kev up to the line. So they're set to go. George in position as well. So they're comp eliminator. They run to an index. They can go quick and that's no problem at all. Oh, what a phenomenal run. Oh, I backed it out of it early, but wow, Kev Slyfield, 0.98 to 60 foot, that was gone. Let's have a look at the 8th, 3.91 to the 8th at 188. George goes through with a 980 at 106, but the short numbers there. I mean, Kev Slyfield, 391 at 188 miles an hour to the 8th, that was on one. All right, next up then, Elaine Hancock with the Lethal Zephyr. Oh, to say she's had a dream year is an understatement with regards to drag racing for her. Consistent 8.5s. Wheel of the Cutlass coming round in a moment, but it's going to be a lane on her own. So the Lethal Zephyr then. Another 8.5 coming up. Let's see. Elaine Hancock. Lovely little launch. And 8.5 like clockwork, 855, 156 miles an hour. Right, Lloyd Perkins then with the Cutlass. Runs to the super modified index of 7.97. 8th 850 bike. Can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? 850 bike. Into the pairing lanes, please. What I find quite staggering, that was basically just on tick over, the car still went 1283 at 117 miles an hour. Incredible. Just goes to show what these cars have got. With Pro Mod Avenger. We are into exhibition class. Oh no, sorry, comp eliminator, do apologise. Just seeing what's coming around next. Well, I went to build the revs up there and Spencer goes, oh no, I don't like the sound of that, and I think Matt knew he was going to click it off then anyway. So we're getting ready for Super Street Bike, but before that, a little treat. Top Fuel Bike, the dealer, Steve Woollatt. Steve, very low 6-second runner on this machine, has put in some good runs this year as well, despite a very, very short season for them. Another call, please, for 850 bike into the pairing lanes, please. Another call for 850 bike. Can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? So, Super Street Bike after Steve, and then it will be Sportsman ET. They're all lined up, ready to go as well. Just a reminder, folks, with regards to social distancing again, and also face masks and people congregating together, it applies to absolutely everywhere on site. Following the law, the advice, whatever you want to call it, but you do have to make sure that this is carried out at all times, please. Thank you very much indeed. We will be having some people come to see us at some stage today from the authorities. We want to make sure we're doing it right. So, Steve Woollatt on the dealer. And this will be his last weekend to play this year, so going to make the most of it. Making sure that that track is perfect for Steve Woollatt. So the dealer, Top Fuel Bike. Doing well, this will be a good 6-second pass. Someone came flying off the bike just after the 330, just rolling over to the left-hand wall. 697, 138, that was the piece, not Steve rolling over to the left-hand wall, by the way. 138 mile an hour at the stripe, but did click it off early. 401 at 172 miles an hour at the 8th mile. 950 bike. So 950 bike, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? Right, next up it will be Super Street Bike, and head of the lanes for them, Steve Venables. No problems for Steve at the end. He's turned around the corner and cleared the top end of the track. So Steve Venables with the points lead in Super Street Bike from Dave Smith and Steve Mead. Points lead. Dave Smith would have to out-qualify Steve Venables and take the event win to stop Steve from taking the title. But first up, Steve Mead, Martin Dainty. I thought Steve was head of the lanes, but there was another pair in front of him that were under the tower ready to go. Both of them launch with 120s. Mark Dainty takes 722, only 179 miles an hour. 8:46 there for Steve Mead, but he was on a good looking run until then. He had the better time for 3:30, but the rest of it was all Mark. So Steve Mead going to come round and try and go quicker later on. Next up, Steve Venables. .28 to the 60 foot for Steve. Nice straight run right down the groove into the number one spot with a 6.99 at 211.92 miles an hour. Awesome run from Ven there. And a 6.99 to open his qualifying shot this weekend. I can't see anybody beating that today. But nice run there for Steve. Phil Lemon and Paul Hambidge. This is Comp Bike. So Phil Lemon in the STP lane. He is your points leader and got a good, healthy lead. Paul Hambidge is third in the points. And he's at number 2. Drifting towards the walls, gonna have to lean it over and talk about drifting. 7:47. I think that run will count, unfortunately. 7:47, 160. By Paul taking the block out, so just going to be on hold just for a second to put the last timing block back into possession. So, unfortunately, those runs won't count. Chris Neary and Tony Clark then. Tony Clark wasn't here for the Euros, but certainly came down to That'll do. 782, 185 there for Tony. Chris goes through with a 903. Right, Sportsman ET, sponsored by Hutchison and Dibley. And it's Rob Cresswell once again with the Audi RS4. Great thing about having a VW or Audi or anything from the VW family, you can run it in Sportsman ET and VW Sportsman. Going alongside Gary Lake, the Arabian Night Firebird. He dials in a 1462. Rob, 1370 with the Audi. Double 02 reaction time there for Gary Lake, getting very, very close indeed to the Dragster.com bad habit perfect reaction light. Oh, 1359 breakout and a 1481. So Gary is the right side, Rob, he's the wrong side. Georgina Smith, 1592 with the Supra. And Joe Colclough, the Dimension Shifter, Trans Am, looking for a 1210. First time I've seen this car. Well, 15, good opener there for Joe. A 1578. That is a big old breakout for Georgina. Pike and Mike really smiling about that one, going, oh, where did that one come from? Right, Ash and Debbie up next. Ash with the Skyline, the Dream Wrecker, going alongside the Mustang of Debbie Taylor. Ash looking for 1350, Debbie 1302. Debbie goes 1307, nice run, 1387 for Ash. Debbie goes number 2, Ash. Connor Holt, I haven't seen him run for ages. I know he comes to the test days and that, but really good to see Connor here with the Astra, dialing in 1320. And 1438 for Aussie Brown. I remember when Connor won his first 13 and it just came from nowhere. Now he runs them like clockwork. That is one quick little Astra, that. And nicely away from the line as well. 0.7 light. Connor goes 1357. Oh, Aussie Brown, bang on the money. 1438 on a 1438 dial. That is your number one qualifier. Well done to Aussie Brown. Well judged run. Australopithecus. Okay, I read the first part of that, but I'm not going to read the second part yet. Carl with the Tesla, alongside Holly Walters with the Mustang. Now Carl looking for a 12.2, Holly a 16.02, and it's a 12.35 for Carl, and a 15.71 for Holly. Well, I was about to say 15 something before she got there, and I wasn't expecting it to be 15.71. Right, Steph Pateman. Great to see the Pateman name back here this weekend. Hi, Julie. Going alongside Dan Holloway with the Die Hard SS, the Chevy pickup. Oh, I've just spotted Brian as well. He's a bit further forward, but well, good to see the Patemans back here this weekend. So 15.55 the target for Steph, Dan 16.10. $15.51 breakout, $15.90 breakout, but two entertaining runs there, well done. So it's difficult dialing in a 15-second car, but they'll get it next time round, well done. Next up, Kirsty Tram. She is in the STP lane with the 50 Shades of Green Racing Camaro. And there's a blue BMW down there, but I don't know who it is. Can I have Junior Dragster into the pairing lanes, please? Junior Dragster, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? Right, just on hold for a moment. A tiny bit of precipitation, I think, is making its way at the moment. It's very, very small though, so Ian's just going to keep on top of the situation with the tractor. And I haven't done this yet, and I must apologise, but we do have a birthday in the house this weekend. And of course, it is Ian Marshall. So many happy returns to Ian, as he just jumped into the tractor to keep on top of the situation out there. But many happy returns indeed to Ian Marshall, our chief starter here at Sanderport Raceway. Birthday today. I know she's not here this weekend, but could be tuned in. But Kirsten Van Cronenberg, it's her birthday today as well. Many happy returns to you. And from the Nitro Bug team, Tash, it's her birthday as well. So many happy returns to them. My mate Andy Park, you know, the 9.63 guy with that anniversary to Andy and Alicia. So just a tiny bit of downtime. It is very, very light. Well, I'm not even going to say it's rain, it's just a tiny bit of drizzle out there at the moment, but we are on hold for that at the moment, so we'll be back with you very shortly once this one's cleared away for the continuation of the STP National Finals.
Cleaning the inside? No, the engine. The fuel injectors. If deposits build up there, it can really mess up performance.
I can't clean them.
You can with this. STP Injector Cleaner. It cleans up all those harmful deposits, which means better engine performance, sharper acceleration, and even your fuel goes further.
Now that is smart.
This monster will go from 0 to 100 mile an hour in 1 second, so I depend on Draper tools.
Top Speed Automotive Street Eliminator. Tony Higgs and Nick Hale. So really good to see Anthony. Tony Higgs and Nick Hale. So really good to see Anthony Higgs back at the pod this weekend. Daughter's birthday this weekend, so many happy returns to Katie. I think it was Thursday, the birthday there for Katie, but I know I wished you happy birthday over the social media, but now you're getting it at the track as well. Going alongside Nick Hale. Heads up, class. Well, that ain't a bad run there for Tony. Goes 890 at 164 miles an hour and 1101 at 124 for Nick. The Sunbeam Stiletto, he was having a great time last weekend, running very nicely into the sevens at the Hot Rod Drags. Going alongside James Murray with the Cortina. Now, I'd like to see James getting into the very low 11s. And Joe, well, just carrying from where we were last weekend, sir. And, yeah, he'll be running 7.7s. Well, both of them fighting for a bit of traction there. Line 42 at 150 and 1231 at 119. Let's say both of them broke traction there. Comp Eliminator, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? Comp Eliminator, can we have you into the pairing lanes, please? Dave Day with Plan B, the 30. Such a good looking car, this one. Dave and his son Elliot put this together. Bit of an evening and weekend project car for father and son. The car came out last year. And Dave's just been building up on the performance since then. But lovely, lovely car. And of course, being Street Eliminator, totally street legal as well. Well, that's nice and straight. Just chirp the tyres as you left the line, so just have a second stab at it. Attention to just as we await the next pair to come around the corner. A few more of you here now. A very good morning. Welcome to Santa Pod Raceway for this, the National Finals, sponsored by STP. Once again, many thanks to them for their increased involvement here at Santa Pod Raceway and for taking on the lane sponsorship, of course, of the left-hand lane. Right, well, we're almost back ready to go once again. Ian is just parking up the tractor. And yes, you got to love it. Sportsman ET coming around the corner. And they've still got the roof bars on. They've still... Kirsty Tram, 15.38. The Darlin for the 50 Shades of Green Camaro. Impressed with that. Kirsty goes through with the 15.30. Guess what? It's a breakout. Right, next up it's Ruby. And a 14.02, nice run there for Tig, goes into the number 2 position. In actual fact, you know, I did that message for Ian Marshall earlier on, wishing happy birthday. There's all sorts of people. John and Jeanette Webster say happy birthday. The Tram family also wish Ian a very happy birthday as well. Big shout out to Colin Miller, tuned in watching the coverage up in Scotland. And thanks for the positive comment on the old PB from me, thank you. 8.52 and 8.60, Ross. Well, Joe Bond messaged us to say, listening to the live stream whilst walking the dog in the Cotswolds. Good luck to everyone this weekend and stay safe. Thanks ever so much indeed, Joe. Hope you still out walking the dog, because that's quite a long walk if... I'm a little bit behind on that message. Next pair, J Rowe, Steve Howe. This is 8.50 bike. Joe Rowe unfortunately having to abort the run. 8:36. Steve Howe. Oh, that was quick. Way too quick for 8:50. Can I please have Modjestang Pro ET into the Perry lane? And I think we're just going to be on hold for a moment. I think we've got a little bit more from above. Yeah. Ian just telling that pair of bikes to shut off. That's Andy Haley and Leo Lester. And that's just probably in the shutdown area that might just be a little bit going on down there. So on hold just for a second. More updates from the pits, actually. We're getting some of the racers getting in touch with us here in the town. Let us know what's going on. Carl Goldsmith from the VW ranks. His engine seized in the Golf on his first run when he was going alongside Luke Stevenson. But that's never an issue for someone like Carl. They'll always find another way to get a car running. And he said currently swapping it for the low compression one that we took out of the Loner yesterday. So they've got another engine, so they're going to swap that over. Obviously, it won't be as quick as the one that was in the car, but they come up with a plan. Tony Higgs has been in touch. Yeah, absolutely no problem mentioning Katie's birthday. She was over the moon. Thanks ever so much indeed. I'll reply to the second part of that message a bit later on. Steve Bowen, he's always in touch with us now. It looks like we will get Steve Bowen back on track next year. We've been missing in action as Steve-O. But thanks for your messages, Steve. And hope you enjoy the coverage today. So wherever you are in the world, watching what's going on at Santipod Raceway, just we're on hold just for a second. Just let a tiny bit of precipitation just disappear, and we'll be back running with you again. I just need, once again, just a quick reminder on the COVID here at Santipod Raceway. Once again, we are delighted we are a COVID secure location here, but please, please, please make sure that you are following all of the social distancing guidelines. The rule of 6. Social media, television, press, you name it, absolutely everywhere. And I think it's quite obvious that the situation isn't getting any better anytime soon. But continue to do it right here at Santipod Raceway. Just looking around, everybody's perfectly socially distanced here at the moment. But if you're leaving any of the viewing areas and going into, I don't know, going to queue up for some refreshments or anything like that, just make sure that you stick to the social distancing. Obviously it applies to all the teams as well. Don't start mixing with all the other teams as such. Make sure you stick to the social distancing. We will get a visit, as per usual, from the authorities here at Santipod Raceway, so they will check on us to make sure that we are doing absolutely everything right, and they do have the power to shut us down. I must remind you of that. They do have the power now to shut us down. If they don't like what they see, they can come into us and say, right, that's it, it's game over, lock up, go home. And we do not want that at all. So it is very important that you continue to follow the law now. It's not advice anymore. To follow the law and make sure that you do stick to that social distancing remit that we've been following for quite a while now, but very, very important for us here at Santipod Raceway. And as I said earlier on, there's a lot of people that depend on this place. It's their second home. A lot of people make their livings involved in the world of drag racing, and for us to be able to continue to do that, it keeps other people employed as well. So very, very important indeed. I haven't done this yet, but a big shout out to all the photographers. I always like to do this. Julian, good morning, mate, and thank you ever so much indeed for that superb picture that you sent me, which I've now used on my Facebook background, and that means a lot to me, that picture. You know it does, because you do it for quite a few people. And yeah, I haven't told anybody yet what I did yet. Rog down there, a very good morning to you, my good friend. God, 50 years you've been doing this. Right, 49 this year, it's 50 next year. Yeah, he'll be out there with a Zimmer frame next year. But no, to all our photojournalists, they're all dotted all over the place. Representing, John's down there, Steve, all the other ones as well. So a big shout out to all of our photographers. Blackett Photography, I'm sure, are around somewhere. And they got their studio here as well. And talking about people depending on Santa Pod for a living, that really does apply to the Blackett Photography gang. So make sure you pay them a visit. Looking down the start line, Brett Cordell. Morning, Brett. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Please, you've still got a bike as well, obviously, because you lent it to the old man. Not again. Never again. This weekend. It's going to be, I believe, 950 bike up next. Craig Wright doing very, very well this year in 950 bike. He leads points chase from Martin Hallett, and not too far behind Martin is Alan Morrison Jr. So it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. 950 bike qualifying will actually be a little bit carry a bit more importance than normal. I can also see Outlaw Flat 4 tucked around the corner there as well. And then, of course, ET Biker down there and Junior Dragster are down there for Q2. So we are on hold just for a moment. I have called Pro ET into the pairing lanes. If you're not already on the way down, can you please do so? In the meantime, I'm just going to have a little bit of radio silence from me, but going to bring up some music instead.
Cleaning the inside? No, the engine. The fuel injectors. If deposits build up there, it can really mess up performance.
I can't clean them.
You can with this. STP Injector Cleaner. It cleans up all those harmful deposits, which means better engine performance, sharper acceleration, and even your fuel goes further.
Now that is smart.
This monster will go from 0 to 100 mile an hour in 1 second, so I depend on Draper tools.
Well, it turned into one of those mornings just as the bikes were just coming back out again and getting themselves warmed up again. The weatherman saying no, and all being pushed back under cover. So very frustrating indeed. So near yet so far. Never mind.
Cleaning the inside? No, the engine. The fuel injectors. If deposits build up there, it can really mess up performance.
I can't clean them.
You can with this. STP Injector Cleaner. It cleans up all those harmful deposits, which means better engine performance, sharper acceleration, and even your fuel goes further.
Now that is smart.
This monster will go from 0 to 100 mile an hour in 1 second, so I depend on Draper tools.
Have you thought about giving your DPF a little detox?
Give us a clue.
Diesel particulate filter.
Does my car have one?
Well, it's newer than 2009, so yeah. And with you constantly doing short trips to the gym and into town, it could get clogged up with exhaust soot. And if it isn't cleared, it could be costly. Just think of it as a health regime for your fuel filter.
Okay, I get it.
What you need is STP Diesel Particulate Filter Cleaner. Just simply pour it into your fuel tank. It helps clean and protect your DPF, which means reduced emissions, restored power, and hopefully no hefty garage bills.
You should have your own car maintenance channel.
I can barely use the internet.
driving down the road with a flag on their car. We're talking about violence.
They're black people. That's no, because if you look into it, they were actually black people doing that. Like the, yeah, look into it and you'll find it's not actually.
Do you know what?
Honestly, there's black people that have driven through them. There's people that disagree with BLM that are black, basically. Oh, yeah.
Did you see the latest Prius in LA?
Yeah.
In the crowd. You got to kind of
The problem is, what you've got to watch is how much they twist and fit stuff. And good examples of that is, and you see how much it sticks, like, for instance, where it's good on both sides of things, good and bad on both sides. Yeah, but
I think the right is only beyond replacement.
well, the thing is, what that was, the whole there's good and bad people on both sides. If you watch the whole thing, it's completely different content. If you look at it from what's been reported, that's it. There was Nazis turning up, and then there was anti-Nazis turning up, and Trump said there's good people on both sides. That's it. That's what was reported. And what he's actually talking about is the rally was to do with removing the statues. And what he was talking about was that original group of people that had done it.
No, there's a whole fucking.
I understand now the need to
Fucking fascinating.
So that was what that was about. So he was talking about the original meeting was about statues, two sides. And then
Have you seen the thing?
the group that clash,
You still believe he said that not white supremacists are people? You believe that?
Yeah, end it and say, before you end it, say we'll be back after revolution.
Yeah, please like and follow everything else. The only problem is,
He's not a fucking murdering behind the wheel car, is he?
the only problem is that
For DNA stories in the car. No, I don't want to see anything bad. No,
no, but the problem is that takes you down to the micro level.
So they're marked for the remote.
Black Lives Matter.
And
the fact that they
is cover for marking.
Oh no, that their policies are on the website and they are markers, and their founders are openly claimed markers, and they said that's all it is. But it is, it's definitely got that's where all that destroying the family unit stuff comes from, and destroying systems of choice and all that. But what I think stinks of all the thinking part of it is the most probable success that it doesn't fulfill is that part of their brand, and I've said to you about brands before, the brand, yeah, but the brand, and it has to be a brand for people to be able to talk about it, say the
It's like calling something we love it. Oh really? I love it. Well, come to and I go, yeah. I'll tell you, what do you think? Well, we pointed dogs.
yeah, for the dog in.
We pointed dogs. Okay, that's what we do. That's what we call we love it.
But what stumped for me is the fact that part of their brand is already kneeling. That's what just stunk. So right now you look at it and you
Would you
see exactly
take
this kneeling and
If
stuff.
you was at one of those restaurants, if you're at have you seen restaurants? You seen any of the restaurants? If I say restaurants, they're black and white restaurants. You know what I mean? Signs. If I say Black Lives Matter restaurant, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, this is the code. There's lots of big ones. One of their favourite things at the moment is to go up to diners or sitting places and treat them like fucking do it, motherfucker. Oh, you fucking motherfucker. Old people, ladies and gentlemen, couples.
It is a trend. It's not a couple of moments. It is a trend that's happening. Like most nights.
It's too late to time. What? It's too late to time. No, I don't see it before. I don't see it that time.
It's literally a doctor.
But would you, if someone did that to you, would you do that? Would you constantly put that on? The black people do it. Do you think black people would come to fight you?
new one, typically, she was asleep and I shot her. That would be you, that would be you.
I thought it was her boyfriend picked her up and helped her. She's the one that shot, like that she had her daughter in front of her, and she sort of shot her.
She was Philadelphia, they just